a little bit of recruiting, okay? As you probably know by now, if you check the Sports Animal Tulsa Facebook page, you check Twitter, you check the local news, Oklahoma picked up not one but two blue chip recruits on July 4th. One of them, four-star cornerback Latrell Mccutchin, who was once committed to Alabama, took a visit to Oklahoma in March, reopened his recruitment following that visit. That was significant because Latrell was the first commit to Nick Saban's Alabama 2021 class. They have since rebounded from there, picking up a former Ohio State commit in Devontae Smith to replace him at corner. And they're going to be fine because it's Nick Saban. But McCutchin also is the second four-star cornerback in 2 years to commit to Oklahoma. It means Alex Grinch has gone in there twice to the state of Texas to pick up blue chip cornerbacks, and that's not even including a safety in Bryson Washington, who is a true freshman on this year's team. It also means that you went into Austin, Texas, and you came out with a kiddo whose commitment video showed him with a Flavor Flav style OU symbol around his neck on a chain, hat on, and throwing the horns down in Austin, Texas. That's how you charge him up. Then, 2 hours, 34 minutes later, the number one quarterback in the class, Caleb Williams, announces on CBS Sports HQ that he also will be attending University of Oklahoma to play football. And he too threw the horns down. No flags were thrown at either of these recruits. But with those two quality recruits, you saw some moving and shaking in the team rankings. Oklahoma went from ranking 31st in the 247 Sports composite team rankings to number 14 with just two commits, which gave rise to this question of, I wonder how Oklahoma is doing in quality versus quantity, because there are 11 commits in the boat for Lincoln Riley at present, right? For perspective, Tennessee's got like 23, right? USC's got 16, Oregon's got 16. So they still got some ways to go here. But if you're looking at the top 10 rankings, this is what you would see. Ohio State at number 1 with 298.06 points. Clemson at number 2 with 260 points. North Carolina at number 3, following 5-star and number 1 cornerback in the class, Tony Grimes, committing earlier last week, with 259.73 points. Number 4, Tennessee, whose sheer quantity puts them at 259.34. Also have a couple 5-stars in there. One is really great, Dylan Brooks coming out of Alabama, and Terrence Lewis. Number 5, Oregon, with 253.04. They also picked up a 4-star recruit and wide receiver out of Mississippi, means that the top 3 recruits in the state of Mississippi all leaving the state. One of those is from Starkville. Yikes. Oregon followed by LSU at number 6, which also had a heck of a weekend, picking up another edge rusher in Keanu Coate and picking up a 4-star wide receiver in Chris Hilton from the state of Louisiana. They have 251.52 points. USC at 249.71. Michigan at 243.49. Florida at 239.30. And Texas at 223.88. But if you're not going by team score and you're looking at player average, which is your quality rating, you get a very different metric. Ohio State and Clemson still at number 1, number 2. Ohio State is at a just nasty 95.71. Like that's ridiculous. If you are able to put together an average score of 94, you become one of the 3 top quantitative quality classes of all time. And they're at 95.71. Clemson right there at 94.32. Alabama right there at 94.09. Georgia at 94.08. LSU at 93.54. And then Oklahoma at 92.14. Followed by North Carolina at 92.1, Oregon at 91.96, and then Texas at number 9 at 91.61, and then Notre Dame at number 10 at 91.41. This following the weekend where Texas picked up a prize commit in Jameer Johnson, coming out of Texas, a really great corner, who, man, I remember this dude showing up to like the opening regionals at like 148. Put on some weight, grew up, about 6 feet tall now. But what you're looking at is how Lincoln Riley is putting together these quality classes, but also add in there the work that Jamar Cain has done on the defensive side. Getting Clayton Smith to join up, right? That's a top 60 recruit and a top edge rusher. Joining guys like Ethan Downs, joining guys like Cody Jackson. And this is even on top of perhaps even landing guys like Tristan Lay and Bryce Foster and Kamar Wheaton. And if you really want pie in the sky, Emeka Egbuka, who's the number 1 wide receiver in the 2021 class and a top 10 recruit. That said, it's a tall order for Oklahoma because they're not the only people recruiting, right? Defensive tackle recruit Mason Smith put out a top 8 yesterday. In there is Oklahoma, right? Among others, USC, Oregon, Alabama, Georgia. But he's from Louisiana. And he's a top recruit in the state of Louisiana. And all the crystal balls right now show him going to LSU. Now, where that gets interesting is he and Corey Foreman have said they want to play together. Corey Foreman was committed to Clemson in April, reopened his recruitment because he wanted to take visits, notably to USC. Feels like he's elite USC lean. And they have since talked about this and said, hey, it's looking less likely, but we would still like to do it. I don't know that Corey Foreman is that interested in LSU. And I know that Mason Smith does not have an offer from Clemson, right? So if he went back to Clemson, which is not out of the question, probably would be without Mason Smith. But for Oklahoma fans, that means you made a top 8 for a top 20 player and the number 2 defensive tackle in the country. Not too shabby, especially knowing that Jamar Cain just got here in February. And for many folks, the number 1 quarterback in the class is not only nice, but it is more than likely for Oklahoma because of what the offensive prowess has been over the last 5 years. Getting a top offensive commit does not mean as much as it used to at Oklahoma because it's just what they do now. Defensively is where many OU stands are like, yo, show me the money. Show me the 5-star linebacker. Show me the 5-star defensive tackle. Seems like we got edge guys coming out of our ears. Where are the interior guys? Show me who's coming next. To which you could look at the junior college ranks and see Perrion Winfrey and Josh Ellison and expect them to be good. And you're like, yo, man, I'd like to really get them out of high school. Is that even a thing that we get to do anymore? Do we get to do that? Well, usually you have to show that you are the place that puts top talent into the NFL draft, let alone have a top defense. And everybody's going, yo, Alex Grinch, show him the scoreboard. Show him Kenneth Murray Jr. going in the first round. Show him Neville Gallimore going in the third round. To which I'm going, yeah, it's nice. But what did Clemson do? What did Ohio State do? What did Bama do? What do the teams that have won national championships in the playoff era do? That's what Oklahoma's recruiting against. Used to be that they could win that against LSU over the last 5 years, but then LSU went 15-0 and won a national championship. And they are so good that they can lose a former 5-star edge rusher like Marcel Brooks to the portal and not really feel it. Not just because they're changing the scheme up, but because they have other dudes. And Marcel Brooks was so good and so versatile that they had him playing outside linebacker edge. He wants to play safety. And you know what? He can't. That is the quality of defensive player that LSU was able to bring in. That is the quality of defensive player that Oklahoma is trying to recruit and what Clayton Smith could turn out to be. Because in conversations that I have with him, he expects to play 4 different positions at Oklahoma. Both in spots, inside and outside linebacker. And the move toward positionless football is not new, right? Isaiah Simmons made Brent Venables change up the defense. They're going to go back to their 4-3 this season. But if you have 6'4", 230, who can run with everybody, you got to use him in all manner of ways. He's going to play middle safety. He's going to play inside linebacker. He's going to play edge. What if you had 5 of those guys running around a football field? And then you got 2 outstanding corners that can play man. And then you got 1 safety who can play center field by himself so you can run 8 in the box and single high. And then you fill that out with dudes that crush in an offensive line. That's how you put together suffocating, stifling defense. Till then, you're going to have to keep building out of JUCO. You're going to have to be building out of places where the kids aren't rated as highly. I get asked by parents all the time, how does my kid get more stars? You go to camps, and there are no camps to go to? Not really. I mean, we got some FBU stuff, but not really. It's hard right now. For 2021, for 2022 kids, it sucks right now. But if you go to camps and you show out, You get seen. And when you get seen, people take notice. And when you go to elite camps and you beat up on people, people take notice. Your high school film ain't going to be enough. Where you play is not necessarily going to get the shine that you think it should get. Hell, I think we play outstanding football here in the green country. But take it down to Houston. Take it to Louisiana. Take it to California. Take it to Ohio. Take it to Florida. It's not going to measure the same. And that's kind of what you're dealing with, right? Everybody's got their own predilections, their own tasty assortment of what they think is good high school football. For now, the only way that we have to really catalog, quantify, and evaluate this stuff is stuff like 247 Sports' composite, which takes into account ESPN rivals as well, and the top 247. And knowing all of that, Lincoln Riley's doing what Lincoln Riley has been doing for the last 3 years. You know, he's putting together a top class. Now, last year finishes number 11 behind Tennessee at number 10. This year they're trying to make a number 10 finish. And I think they can get there. I don't think it's as likely as some, but they could get there. Right now it's about, can you fill this out? And winning a guy like Mason Smith to go along with guys like Kamara Wheaton, Emeka Egbuka, that gets you there. We'll see what the coaching staff still has up their sleeve.